So now that we understand a bit more about the process of evaluation as a whole, let's break down this a bit more and talk about the types of questions or scales we might see on evaluations. Of the most basic of scales you might find on evaluations is the nominal scale. Now, typically, these scales are used for labeling purposes or for classification, usually to classify the student or to learn more about that person, to make it easier later to categorize data to look for trends across specific groups or even departments. So, if you see a question on an evaluation that is asking about the person's gender or what department they work in, that's why. It's simply for analysis reasons down the line. Among the most popular kinds of questions or methods of measure you'll see on evaluations will more than likely be some form of ordinal scale, of which there are several kinds or variations. One popular example is the Likert scale, named after its creator. These scales measure non-numeric concepts like emotions or satisfaction or even opinions. The word ordinal means order, and an ordinal scale will usually imply some kind of direction: high to low, slow to fast, satisfied to dissatisfied, ranking an experience as a measure of linear intensity. Traditionally, it is a 5 or 7-point scale, rather than the 4 points I am showing you here. But we can easily make this a 5-point scale by adding a neutral point in the middle. Now, interval scales are very similar to ordinal scales, with one key difference in that they can both be ordered and ranked. The major difference, as you can see here, is that the distance between each interval is clearly marked or quantifiable. We have a very clear scale here of 1 to 10, where 1 is very poor and 10 is very good or excellent. And that's really the clear difference between the interval scale and the ordinal scale. Now, there are other ways to measure or evaluate, of course. This was just a few ways to introduce you to the most popular forms out there. And by the way, these type assessments typically are best suited for measuring attitudes, feelings, reactions, and opinions, the types that you'll find in the first phase of the evaluation process.